Hello, hello. Welcome to the 5Talents podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. I interview the top commercial real estate investors and industry experts so you can learn from their experiences. So if you're an investor, a high W-2 earner, or real estate or tech sales professional that wants to invest in real estate without having to manage properties or leave your day job, then this podcast is for you. Or if you're already investing in real estate, but you're doing it part-time and you want to become a full-time multifamily or full-time commercial real estate investor, this podcast is for you too. You're going to learn a ton. You will learn from real-life multifamily investors and other professionals in the industry. They're going to share their blueprints for success, and I'm super excited that you're here. So I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, hello. This is Abel Pacheco, your host for the 5Talents podcast. We are super excited yet again with another amazing group of guests because you are going to learn a lot about really how off-market deals, off-market properties get found, get created. If you are an investor actively and looking and searching for deals, commercial land properties, really any kind of off-market property we're going to have a good discussion on. But if also you're a passive investor, a lot of times, you're trying to figure out, well, how do these guys find quote unquote off-market properties? This will be a good show. Anthony and Daniel have a tremendous amount of expertise in their field, and they are local with me, or Anthony's local with me. We've met each other in person before. I guess before we're kind of grinding up, Anthony's done amazing things and has kind of followed him and vice versa. So we're excited to bring you the show. But first, Anthony, Daniel, how's it going?
Really good, man. Yeah, thank you for having us on. This is pretty cool. It's exciting. I've been seeing you crushing it, man, with these interviews. So yeah, I knew we'd get here. Just didn't know when it was going to be. So thank you for having us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel, everything going good too?
Kind of cold, but I'm excited to be here. I'm kind of outside at the end of the interview, so
yeah. I don't know your situation. So Daniel before said, my kids are going a little loud inside the house, and I had to go outside, and it's cold. I go, I don't know that problem. I don't ever have that problem. I have my 3-year-old and 1-year-old are running all over the place. So you're staying toasty. You're staying warm.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. Hopefully the dog doesn't make noise next door.
Thaw out before the end of the show.
Right, and your volume is a little low. You may have to speak a little louder too, Daniel, just to make sure we hear you. Okay, but yeah, absolutely. So let's get started. Let's jump in because Anthony, really, I'm going to let both of you all introduce yourself. But Anthony, you've got a tremendous, background in marketing. As a marketing expert, you've done some construction work. You've done some, all kinds of literal. Roofing, number of things on the construction side in real estate, but you have a marketing background that just leads, just perfectly into what you're doing now. And also you're, really 20 transactions in the last couple of years, which is inspiring, and $1 million plus under control and heading towards $1 million liquid cash, which is pretty freaking sick. So congratulations. And then Daniel, I know you from the tech side, from the data side, trying to provide information to other investors, you've been serving about, or 700 plus, who knows how many millions of dollars of transactions. So a lot of volume on both of your sides. So we're excited to learn, but let me turn it over to you, Anthony, in your own words. Can you give us an introduction, who you are and what you do? And we'll go to Daniel and then we'll just start a great conversation.
Hey, yeah. Thanks again, Abel. Thanks for having us on, man. Yeah. So I have a marketing background. I've been in the San Antonio, Texas my whole life. I grew up in construction. So I started marketing for my dad's construction company to figure, how we can have more business. Because in construction, if it's either feast or famine. So what I did is I started focusing on marketing just to get leads for our business. We started overproducing leads, started hiring, subcontracting, still getting more leads. So I started just selling leads. And then I started doing marketing as a service for others, not only for my own company. So I was getting ready to buy some land to build myself a house. And I started researching on YouTube how to, buy land for cheap or how to buy real estate for cheap. And came across the term wholesaling. So I instantly fell in love. I pivoted my career entirely. This is my first year where I'm focused 100% on real estate. But my goal is like yours, and your listeners that are looking to pull cash into long-term assets. So I didn't have any cash, so we started just doing real estate as far as land deals. So I saw that it was the fastest path to cash is just to grab some land, grab a farm, ranch property, and then flip them. So now I've been doing that across the whole state of Texas for the last 2 years. And now we're looking to expand into all 50 states. And we're looking for one partner per each major metropolitan area that we would like to partner with, duplicate our model, show them what we're doing, show them the shortcut to large volumes of cash so that we can move them over into something like you're doing now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Tremendous. I love the backstory. I want to ask you a couple more questions about it, but before that, thank you very much. We'll go to Daniel. How about yourself, brother?
Man, I kind of fell into entrepreneurship. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so when I had my first daughter, when she was pregnant, I was like, I gotta make some things change and start a new chapter in my life. So I actually I worked my butt off that whole year. I was a truck driver, so I'm originally a truck driver, and my first business I started was a trucking company because I have a CDL. Might as well do something I can do that I know I can do. So I did truck driving for 2 years. And it got a lot cumbersome and a headache for me personally in my personal life. So I ended up switching to real estate. I met Anthony right around that time while I was still in trucking and / real estate. And then close to about a year in, I fell into the data space and data script tracing provider. And then we've been working on for a couple of months the Hivemind, which is a software CRM that automates and sets up your business. So I've been kind of helping Anthony on the back end with a lot of his stuff, and I've been doing the data script tracing on our side, and then we kind of went into the software side now. So now we're doing a lot of we're in the digital real estate space, which is kind of cool because we can push infinite products. So with data, I do 35 plus list types nationwide, and then with the software, we can help thousands of people with our current clients. So I'm excited to see what we can do in the future nationwide as far as with the CRM and with the data.
A little AI, artificial intelligence to find those leads.
Yeah, it's definitely when you automate and systematize your business, you can definitely you catch a lot of missing deals, and you definitely set up the follow up. Where one of our clients now, he was talking to our bot, and I haven't told him yet, but
I thought it was Daniel. It's the bot.
Well, he knows now.
Yeah, I'm from tech also. I spent 13 years in tech, and if I know Anthony and you pretty well, I'm guessing that Anthony kind of messed up because now he's got his expert online, and everyone's going to go reach out to his expert and try to take him. But also, I know Anthony well enough to where he's a tremendous partner and probably a force on the front end. So it's good that you guys established a partnership, and congratulations on starting your business as well, Daniel. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's a couple things before we kind of get into the Hivemind, which I'm excited to talk about. But Anthony, from your background, I mean, it sounds like you were hands-on. Your dad was doing the construction thing. You solved what was one of the major problems for whether it's a real estate investor or real estate business or somebody doing labor or contract, whatever it is, it's leads. I got to get more people that need more services. And you sought to solve that early on, and you did, and then you turned it into a business on your own. Man, tell us about what you remember from your dad in business and kind of that original mindset that brought you there.
Man, I'll tell you, my dad, he's like I got lucky, so I got the best dad ever. He wasn't a businessman per se, but he always told me, as long as you just keep your word, be honest, do the right thing. Right? He took us to church growing up, which I still go now. So I do have that background, but just always make sure you do the right thing. Always have your word, never bully anybody, never. So he taught me the basic principles that were going to carry me forever. And I didn't know how valuable they were at the time. But yeah, man, we grew up in construction. I thought I was going to be a famous boxer. I was at, boxing at a gym, and I was going to beat people up for a living. Yeah. And, my dad, he started a construction company. So it's more like, no, get in the truck. You're going to work. So, became a construction guy. Yeah. So I hated it, man, at first. It's like, dang, it's hard labor, busted knuckles, long hours, getting home midnight, 2 a.m, and sometimes you don't see that. It doesn't reflect reflect on your paycheck how hard you're working. But I appreciated it. It taught me a lot. Taught me how to just get in there and not get tired. So now doing real estate, going after this type of thing, I'm like, man, I could do this in my sleep with my eyes closed. And literally now, yeah, you wake up in the morning, you got leads in your account. So I am kind of doing this with my eyes closed, right, in my sleep. But yeah, man, we had that background. We had always a long day, hard work. And then we just started to need to generate more business. I didn't know how powerful, generating leads was until now, now today looking back. But yeah, just go ahead and learning online marketing, getting it figured out, learning how to take a mass audience and push them into one place to get an end result. And now using that in real estate, I never knew you could do that before 2 years ago, that you could drive both seller leads and you can drive buyer leads and then just match them and then just make cash for doing nothing. So it's like this is the easiest job I've ever had. It's been the most rewarding. So I'm just glad to share what I know and see if we can expand and teach other people what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the volume that you've been able to do just quickly, and then the $1 million plus of property under control, and then heading towards $1 million liquidity within such a short time was absolutely worth having you and more, because a lot of people do come on the show and we're talking about thousands or hundreds and thousands of doors, but there's a long stretch. I mean, it took me 12 years in kind of in my space just to kind of even break in on the commercial multifamily side. And you come in pretty quick and they're like, hey man, I'd love $1 million cash in a couple of years. So first tell us about your maybe those aha moments for marketing. What is it that most people or businesses or how do they drive more clients and how do they market today? That's not automated. That's not what's the mindset there, and why did you decide to create this side of the house?
Okay, yep. So I've been a relatively low guy. I want to say it's like 18, 20 deals, right? I've been a low volume guy for the last couple of years. And, being online, a lot of people, they have their favorite way to market. They're going to do bandit signs. They're going to do text message or RVMs. People would do pay-per-click. They'll argue back and forth to tell you which one's better. But I know as a marketer and having a professional marketing background, the first thing I did was just set up everything digital, everything. I ordered like 1,000 bandit signs. I just started doing everything all across the board. I want to say I threw like $25,000 at marketing, like in my first 60 days or something. I just went absolutely crazy to see what worked best. And then as luck would have it, I started getting a lot of traction on pay-per-click leads. And, everybody says that doesn't work good for real estate because everybody's going after houses. Lucky for me, I did see a YouTube channel and somebody was saying pay-per-click for land. So I immediately set up some Google campaigns and getting land deals. I got a farm up by Fort Worth. I didn't know if it was going to be a good deal or not. But we got it under contract and I ended up, making almost 6 figures on that one transaction. And I had never even, I think that was my second or third deal in real estate. So I immediately saw the opportunity in land and I ran with it, and I've been running it for 2 years. But I noticed that it is a low volume game. If you're doing a deal a month or a deal every 2 months, you're doing okay still because you're doing these bigger numbers. But I figured the only way I could scale this thing up is if I, just went crazy with my budget, right? If I just shot up to $5,000 or $10,000 a month in ad spend. But the secondary problem you might have is that you have a lot of data to comb through. There's a lot of checking flood zones and a lot of, learning different markets. And it's more data than I would like to comb through. It's becoming a high volume guy for myself. It's more time than I'm willing to invest. So we said, instead of bringing on 10 or 20 in-house people to help us comb through this data and hiring dispositions teams, we said, we're just going to partner with other people in other markets that are running their own business, that are responsible for themselves. And that's how we're going to scale up transactions, is by JVing with people all over the country.
Got it. So let me, for the passive investors that are listening, or maybe somebody that hasn't really stepped in this world, let me translate a couple things for the layman like myself. So Anthony mentioned a few things, right? Wholesaling, flipping land, SEO, pay-per-click, bandit signs. Okay, so for those that have never found an off-market property, what you're really doing is you are marketing, getting your message out there to somebody that's in a position to sell their land or their house or their commercial property or whatever it is that they're selling. and you've got to reach them somewhere. So that could be on the internet. It could be as a quote unquote potential seller is driving down the road. There's a bandit sign. There's little signs on the side of the road that say, "We buy land" or "We buy houses." There's actually really people on the other end of it. And one of those individuals is Anthony. The ads that you see pop up in Facebook Marketplace, right? Oh, I'm selling a piece of land, a piece of property. So all of those things is what it takes to really, outbound, if you would, to reach and market to somebody that can sell something. And if you're the direct person talking to the seller, you've essentially cut out any kind of agent, broker, any kind of intermediary, any kind of exchange individual that wants to take a cut, wants to take a percentage. And then also you can essentially negotiate a better deal. Did I say anything wrong? Is that all right, Anthony, Daniel?
Spot
So
on.
there's a joke they always say is that once a broker touches it, it's no longer a deal.
And the brokers are cringing right now, like, I can't believe you said that. However, there's a percentage that gets put on there, or they want to sell it at a premium, or they're trying to get the most. And that's their job, that's their role. But as a buyer, I would like to play the lowest price possible and get the best deal possible. And my seller's motivated. If I have a situation, I need capital. One business is starving. I got to sell this one. I have had this land forever. It was deeded to me. It was my family's. I don't know what to do with it. There's taxes. Any one of the situations that brings motivation, I would love to be able to talk with the seller directly so I can understand that, help them out of their situation, maybe creatively. Another term that Anthony threw out there was under control, $1 million plus under control of property. And, legally on paper, he's got control of something, which means he's controlling it potentially without $1 million in. He's controlling $1 million worth of property. So it's like, man, how does that work? All of those things are the opportunities for a quote unquote off market or a direct to seller campaign. And the more you do, the more you realize the problems that come with it. So I think I heard a couple of the things I heard where it was the data, sifting through it, trying to figure out the taxes, trying to figure out like how to even just capture it in a CRM and a tool. Do I do it in an Excel spreadsheet, or do I do it in software, or all those things that get created? And that's essentially why, sometimes we lean to the brokers, is they kind of make it easy. But if you can do the hard things, it leads to big time profit. So let me turn it back over to you, Anthony and Daniel. So I think I just wanted to give a good explanation of what the heck we're talking about. So
Translation.
Now, so thanks, man. So Daniel, give us insight of like what's the tech stuff behind what you're doing, like AI, data, automation, systems processing. What happens?
So it depends. It depends what you're doing. So with the PPP side, you kind of have to set up the Facebook ads and Google ads driving the traffic. A lot of people do different types of techniques. Some people direct mail. I had one client in Chicago. He got 12 plus deals for my list just doing direct mail. Some people cold call. Some people do a lot of different things with it. And like I said, I don't like hate agents and brokers and all that stuff. They have their place and they have their uses, and they do a lot of good things for people. So like one of my clients, he's an agent and investor. I think within the last 3 months, he's done over $100,000 of transactions on the agent analyst and the agent and investor side just with my information. So there's a lot of different ways you can leverage that out. And if you have the right tools, as far as if you're an agent and investor, you can help both sides of the transaction, no matter what price point they want, whether it's creative or investor side. So usually when we look at deals, we try and do them all to figure out whatever's the best solution for the seller themselves. And Anthony kind of go in that, but it's not really about, hey, every deal is a wholesale deal, every deal is going to be a retail deal, every deal is going to be a creative deal. You have to actively try and pursue what the seller needs at that point, because if you can figure out what that is, you're always going to make a deal every time. So as far as on the data side, like it's just consistently marketing. That's what gets you the deals. So as long as you're consistently marketing daily, monthly, put yourself accountability to make sure you're marketing, whether you do it or you have people do it for you or you set it up to do it for you, Whether you're doing direct mail, you can set up campaigns like that to automatically do it for you. You have to be consistently marketing to do deals. And the lifeblood of a business is marketing. So as long as if you're not marketing, you're not getting a deal. And a lot of people, new investors, like, I can't find a deal. I've been looking, and they're leveraging their time. But if you leverage the tools and resources out there to automate your business and do marketing for you, the deals will start coming in. They'll trickle in, and then they'll start coming in as a flood depending on how much you spend on it. So the lifeblood of any business is marketing. So as long as you're marketing, the leads will come in.
Right on, right on. It's true. I mean, we're talking real estate. We're talking investing on real estate, commercial land, whatever, you're getting after. However, any business will fail with lack of new sales, new revenue coming in. And the reason why there's no new revenue coming in is pretty much marketing. If you take your foot off the gas in any business, then it's going to stop. So I think that's, for any new entrepreneurs, whether you're going to start syndicating deals and raising capital, whether you're a new, construction or developer, you've got to figure out, how to bring in more opportunities and bring in more cash. And part of that is that marketing funnel. And you got to invest it big time back in the business. I remember in 2000 and I think this was 2002 for me. I was in college. I started my first business. Have you guys heard of Cutco?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I was a Cutco guy for 6 years, and I started my own business. And I remember marketing back then was we had like 100,000 flyers, and my goal was to pass out 20,000 flyers in the first 2 weeks of me opening a business. And my freaking phones were jam packed. We passed out a ton of flyers, and I wore some holes in the bottom of my shoes passing them out. This is back then. But then we put an ad in the classified paper, if you can remember when we used to do that. This was before Craigslist, right? Yeah. And then I did a bunch of direct mailers. We spent like $30,000 on sending letters out to high school graduates that needed a job. And I was the recruiter on the Cutco side. So I was trying to bring more college kids, students to come into my office to, recruit them to go sell knives with me. And I learned early on, I mean, I was 22, 21, 22-ish. It was all about marketing. And it was like a big gulp in my throat to spend as a college kid, $40,000 or 50, whatever I spent in advertising. But as soon as I did it, my summer was made. It was made with that decision to spend money on marketing, because I had, hundreds of new recruits coming to sell Cutco with me. If I wouldn't have done that, I don't think we would have sold anything. So anyways, you got to do that. You got to do as an entrepreneur. Hello. You're listening to the 5Talents podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. If you're enjoying this podcast, then I know you're serious about achieving financial freedom. Are you ready to create your own path through multifamily investing for yourself and your family? Then I know you're going to appreciate our Investor's Guide to Multifamily Investing. It's titled Tackling Commercial Real Estate the Easy Way. We use this guide to invest ourselves in $93 million worth of real estate. So we're going to show you the basic mechanics of multifamily syndications and how to evaluate your next passive investment opportunity. So the best part, if you subscribe to our podcast now, leave us a review and a rating. I'm going to give you a free copy of our ebook. So please take a moment to do that now. Once you've done that, go to 5tcre.com/ebook, 5tcre.com/ebook. Make sure to let us know you left a review, and we're going to send you a free copy. So thank you so much for subscribing to the 5Talents podcast. We really appreciate it. Okay, so let's move forward here. So help us understand what the heck Hivemind is. What does it do? I hear the term, I hear the word. I know there's some software and tech. I'm an investor. How do I utilize it? How do I gain value from it myself? And if I choose to call you guys, help me with some services, what happens? One person every state. I don't know. Demystify all this stuff for me.
And then, so the Hivemind it's a cash engine is all it is, to be completely honest. But under that, it's a transaction engine. So what it does is it monitors all of your leads as they come in. Then you can figure out what stage of the process the lead is in. The system's automatically marketing to some of your leads, and it guides you all the way to the end of the sales process. So it allows you to automate a real estate company. Like right now, I haven't logged into my CRM probably for about 3 weeks. My team is running my real estate company for me. I just come in and I help negotiate the close. I'll negotiate terms with the seller, or I'll negotiate, whatever we're going to do. Like right now, we're looking to gain control of a property that I would guess was roughly worth about $500,000, and we're going to take control of that thing for next to nothing. And we have 3 years to close on it. So I'll come in and I'll do the heavy lifting as far as transactions, negotiating excellent terms, and my team would actually do everything else. So it allows you to automate your real estate company. Now, if you wanted to grow a team, right? Like again, because our goal is to do larger volume transactions, then what we want to do is we want to find people in other markets to duplicate our exact same strategy. And if they're following our same systems and processes, then they can too learn how to do high volume real estate transactions across the country. So effectively building teams in all major US markets. So when the Hive is fully functioning, when we have people spread across the country, we can find any asset type. So if you say, hey, I want to find all of the 100 plexes in LA, if you wanted to find all of the mini storages in Atlanta, all we would have to do is just turn on all of the marketing jets, activate the whole Hive, everybody that's participating in it, and go after any asset class anywhere in the country. As leads come in, we can field leads anywhere in the country because you have boots on the ground. So the product is just a basic CRM. That's all it does. It just monitors, tracks everything, records everything. It does some automatic following up on your behalf. It just allows you to be a more effective real estate investor, so that you can race from to gaining more cash to invest it into your long-term holds.
And it does, like you said, he doesn't know the technical side of it, but
hey man, as a owner entrepreneur, I would love to be able to say that too. Things happen, the leads come in, I'm good. That's really awesome. I'd want to say the same thing, man. So I love it.
It's pretty crazy because like for him, like he's the type of person that like he doesn't even like CRMs. Like he's like, hey, just go do it.
I'm a tech guy, and I don't like logging into CRMs and putting all the data in and manual work. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
So it does a lot more than that. Like it does email marketing. It does email, SMS, RVM. There's a phone system built in, power dialer. It hosts websites. The one thing that a lot of our competitors have out there is that there's so many different systems that they have to connect all into one, and it gets cumbersome. You miss leads. You're doing an Excel spreadsheet over here, and you have a dialer over here, and you just lose efficiency. You lose time efficiency because it's all in 10 different places. The problem with that is that you're not using your time effectively. You're wasting time messing with certain systems and connecting it over here and making sure it operates smoothly. With our system, everything's connected in one, and it follows in one path, and everything you can do internally. So we connect with Stripe, QuickBooks. There's an interface to sell courses and digital products. There's an interface to sell. We connect with Google My Business. So if you're trying to get Google reviews as an agent, Google My Reviews as a local business, you want to integrate the system into it because you can essentially effectively build up your SEO by getting Google reviews on your business. We have an internal calendar system if you're trying to set and organize coaching calls or onboarding calls or just business calls like this. It all goes in your calendar and you don't miss any appointments. With the phone system, you can text internally, email internally. We're doing a lot of internal stuff with this thing, but I think the biggest thing as far as the Hivemind though, and Anthony surprisingly didn't say it, but it's more than a CRM. The biggest thing that we have as the Hivemind is that we're bringing a collective of people together to work together all over the U.S. And I think that's a bigger thing than the CRM itself. The CRM is just the catalyst that drives everything else. So we had one of our partners make this logo that was behind me, and there's multiple brains all around us. The reason why it's symbolic is because the biggest factor that the Hivemind is that it's greater than us. It's greater than me. It's greater than Anthony. All the people that come together to make this thing work and do the deals and bring in the leads and make this thing work is the people that are a part of it. So it's bigger than, like, for us, we're just happy to be the owners and operators of it, and hopefully we're trying to make sure the thing runs smoothly as possible. But the thing that drives it is the people that are a part of it. And we love our people that work with us already. The beauty of it is, like, yesterday somebody DM'd me, they had a lead in Baltimore. We had a lady that just signed up in Baltimore. She's a buyer. So I DM'd the deal straight to her because I know she's in Baltimore. It's like, hey, I have a deal in zip code, boom, boom, boom. We connect the dots instantly. there's no fishing around. Like, I'd rather work with my team than pulling a list and trying to find a buyer. So the biggest thing that we're creating is synergy amongst other users. If somebody has a question, we're here to answer any question. We do mastermind calls in the evenings. We'll do a Saturday call on Clubhouse at noon. We're doing a lot of different things to encourage and help build a community, and we want people to be a part of it, because we know we're going to do big things in 2021 and 2022. So we want to make sure that anybody who wants to get into real estate investing, no matter what their niche is, we want to make sure we have the experts that can help in any situation. So the biggest thing about the Hive is that it's more of a collective of people putting the genius together, which that's what's going to make it that's going to make it a no-brainer to be a part of.
Got it. Cool. That sounds awesome. There's a number of all these technical tools for those limited partner passive investors that may be listening. You're like, what? You may not realize how hard your active partner, your active general partner or syndicator or operator, or the person you invest your money with, the reason it's so simple for you all as a passive investor is this exactly. All of these things that we're doing to find another deal, find either an investor, a land, a piece of property, a commercial multifamily deal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are tons of things operating in our background. Just think about like the newsletters that you may get, or this, podcast to do some marketing, or any one of the social media platforms that we're doing. All of those things just make it easy for an investor to say, you know what, I like Abel. I'm hoping that you're saying that. I like Abel. I'm going to give him $50,000 to go put in a deal, or maybe a couple hundred on my next one. And all of this stuff in the background is kind of like what we're managing. So thanks for allowing us to kind of, peel back the onion a little bit, because there's a bunch of other active general partners and syndicators and operators and people that are, doing deals actively. They're like, how do we even manage all this stuff? And this is a pretty cool way to look at it, right? All in one kind of tool, CRM, a website. So data management, marketing engine, automation, emails, blast, and then finding somebody who can help potentially. So have y'all thought about how like somebody like me might use it? I'm going after these big, 100 unit plus multifamily deals that are traded basically at the broker side. And I'm also, potentially looking for some land to develop, things like that. Have y'all thought about, hey, how you cater to me? This may be a self-serving question.
So
Yeah.
I definitely thought about that, and maybe Anthony jump in. So I heard you recently say that you were trying to organize your list as far as your people that you work with, and as far as their money cash value, if they're a accredited investor or not, what part they can input. So with this, you can essentially you can create custom fields to your niche. So if you're just creating, every relationship is built off of contact. So if you can automate some of those contacts, set up appointments, scheduling, you can do this internally for your to find other partners to help buy these deals. And that's just as far as the CRM side. The other thing that we'll probably come across is, as we get bigger and bigger, we're going to come across multifamily deals. We're going to call Abel Pacheco. Because the one thing about the Hivemind is that
I like hearing that, Daniel. I like hearing that.
No, and then the reason why is because everybody, and this is one of the things about the Hivemind too, is that everybody is an expert at something. Everybody's an expert at something, and if we can leverage your expertise, I don't have to do it. I don't have to learn how to do everything. I don't want to learn how to do everything. That's time consuming. The way to shortcut all of that is to understand what your expertise is and your shortcomings are, and let's fill the gaps. Like, not everybody, I'm not good at negotiating and cold calling and all that stuff, but I have a person who is. He's on the right side of me, but I have a person who is. So I do what I'm good at. He does what he's good at, and we do a lot of things. So that's the bigger thing with the Hivemind, is that if we want to get into the multifamily place and the triple net lease space and commercial space, we're going to count on people that are already doing it and leveraging them, because I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't have to it took you 3 years, 4 years to get into that space. Why not leverage somebody who's already in that space and let them help you get to where you want to go and leverage their experience. When you spread sideways and count on more people, you can grow faster.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hit on one of the principles that I tell people all the time. It's leverage your team, leverage your network, leverage expertise. Uh, to do something you've never done before a lot of times takes that. We've heard that thinking you've never thought a different way before, you've never done a certain action. Well, one of the fast forwards for me, for my my real estate growth, you want to call it that way, is just I've tried to partner with people that I thought were the best in breed, the best of operating, the best syndication, the best property manager, the best of any one of the things that I needed. And they knew a lot more than me, and now all of a sudden I'm leveraging other people's knowledge, and we're all benefiting because they're leveraging something from me. And it's, if we can help each other do that as a team sport, we're gonna win. And it's awesome seeing you and Daniel, you and Anthony partner up, Daniel, because you are leveraging, and that's the same principle we do in multifamily syndication: build the best possible team we can, and we're going to go do bigger, better deals together and make more money together and help more investors and help our community, help our renters, help, all the way through everybody that lives there. So anyways, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So the pinnacle to real estate is time, money, knowledge. You don't have to have all three.
Mm-hmm.
You just one. A lot of people that have a lot of money, they'd rather leverage their time. They might not need the knowledge. They'd rather leverage their time. That's just the bottom line. So if I have the capital, I'd rather give it up and leverage my time. If I have the knowledge, if I have the knowledge and capital, I might hire somebody who has time, because they, I can leverage out that source. So time, money, knowledge. You don't need all three to do it, but you need all three to do a deal. So if you can fill the missing gaps, you can do any deal in any niche, in any vertical, as far as commercial, houses, land. Time, money, knowledge. That's it.
Time, money, knowledge, baby. I love it. I love it. That's absolutely it. Well, this has been an awesome conversation, and I really appreciate it very, very, very much. I have a couple more questions, but before we do that, let me make sure we stated it for anybody that's looking, for you all, your system, your tools, your expertise, trying to figure out this automated funnel of opportunities. Where do we go reach out to? Who do we contact? What's the best way to get in touch?
The hive mind is omnipresent. We're everywhere, man. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Yeah, we're absolutely everywhere. Yeah, Clubhouse, the whole nine, on Abel Pacheco show.
You can find us on LinkedIn too. Between me and Anthony, I know we have it on our pages. We're literally in every space out there. We have a Facebook group you can join for free to get more information. But yeah, I think we're definitely gonna do a lot of big things this year, and I'm excited to see who's gonna be involved, because I feel like we're coming across a lot of larger people that do a lot of big things, and we're integrating them straight into the hive mind, and it's amazing to see. We've come across a short sale specialist across the U.S. that can help short sales in anywhere in the U.S. We've come across nationwide hard money lender. We come across we have an email mail marketing provider. I do data skip tracing. We have a Florida probate attorney that can do a probate in 24 hours. Like we're hitting a lot of different strides. What's another big one we just hit? I'm trying to think. Like we're hitting a lot of like key notes and like everything in the real estate space, and we're going to do a lot of big things, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it. And I know the hive mind itself, like I said, it's greater than us too, and like I feel like we're nobody compared to the people we're bringing on, and people have been doing this for way longer than both of us, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
That's good stuff. Is there a specific website or place you want them to go to first?
The Hivemind CRM page on Facebook is where our main gathering is, where we're all the time. We're always active on there. Okay. And then I was going to say another thing for your listeners. I know it sounds like you have a lot of savvy listeners on here that might already have their own capital. But you talked about how the hive mind can apply to some of those people. If any of those people are still in the cash building phase of their career and they're looking at doing long term, yeah, the hive mind is a great way to go after assets that you can make quick returns, so that they can be able to generate those funds and then put them into some long term stuff with somebody like yourself, who we already love and trust.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and that's a great point, because everyone's trying to, either create wealth or preserve wealth. Maybe there's a mixture of both, you know, and with the right portfolio. But if you don't have money to invest, you need to invest in yourself first. Education, mindset, some knowledge, whatever it is that you need to invest in. If you don't have money, just like Daniel said, you need to put time in. And so you need to figure out somebody to serve and go figure out how to provide the time so that you can gain some more knowledge, so you can get some more money. But you know, in any one of those things, if you're creating it and you're using your cycles to create active income through, you know, lead generation, lead finding, flipping, wholesaling, all this active work, then this is a great tool to go make 10,000, invest some of it, make 50 grand, invest some of it, come out with 100 and put 50K passively. It's just like, take your money off the table and go take your other 50K and start making more active income. And so, you know, the juggle is kind of where I'm at right now in my phase. I'm trying to create wealth for myself, and I'm trying to create as much active income as I can and pull 50K at a time off the table and put it in a deal passively. That's kind of how I operate. So that's good. I'm glad you brought that up, Anthony. Okay. So is there anything we haven't talked about today? Anything you were hoping that I asked about and didn't? Something you guys wanted to highlight or bring exposure to? We just didn't get to it. I'd love to. Please share now.
Hey, yeah, since we have a land audience, you know, that's not the only thing we go after. We do flip houses, we do everything. Got a couple of those working right now. But you know, as far as the land goes, what can somebody be looking at for like a site development? Like, let's say, I mean, you're going to build these multifamily complexes all over the country, I would imagine. As a land investor, what kind of land should we keep our eyes open for, you know, for those opportunities in multifamily?
I think everyone's a little different, but I like infill.
Mhm.
The water, the utilities, all that stuff is already there. It's ready to plug into. I like something in the path of progress. So if you talk to like the cities, you know, the economic development committee, sometimes there's some kind of maps and their game plan. There, well, not sometimes, but there is their game plan for the growing cities. Here's where we're expanding. Here's how we're doing it. Here's their next 2 to 3 years out, and they can kind of literally show you on a map. Here's your path of progress. Here's where we're taking the extension of our city in, you know, whichever form or fashion. And I think that's, you know, for the layman like myself, because I partner with other development experts. I don't really know all the stuff that they get into, but at a high level, I'm like, yeah, where is the path of progress? This is where we want to look for opportunities. And then zoning, things can be rezoned, but if it's already zoned for like multifamily, it makes it very simple for like a developer of multifamily just to go say, oh, this is infill, this is in the path of progress. Here is a zoned already multifamily for, you know, whatever the zonings are, R5 or 6 or whatever the numbers are, the technical part. It says, oh, you can have, you know, 50 units or 75 units or 100 units in this couple of acres or 5 acres or 10 acres. Then that's the ticket. So for me, and then what I do is, again, not an expert in the development side. I've absolutely leveraged people that have done this a bunch of times, and you know, they've kind of said, hey, this will work, this won't. So that's kind of what I generally hear on that side.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, we would like to fund you some stuff. I said you're gonna run out of land to build your apartments on the rate you're going, man. Take up all the land in the U.S.
In the name of Jesus, I'm like, God willing, God willing. All right. Well, cool. Anything else?
I think we touched everything. Daniel, you got anything left on you?
No, I'm trying to think of something, but I think I'm done.
No, it's
No,
good.
excellent
You
interview,
know,
man.
we
Always glad to connect with you, man.
had a good conversation. I just didn't want to make sure we didn't leave without any nuggets. And I will say one last nugget is, you never know who you're going to reach out to. You never know who you're going to connect with. I met Anthony while I was trying to buy his parents' house. So active capital, generating leads. I think his parents called me. I went direct to seller. They're like, come check out this house. And I went over there, had a you know, handshake and a conversation. And I don't think the deal worked. You know, that I was trying to get it in too low of a basis. However, you know, Dad was like, "Hey, Mr. Gaona, hey, let me, you know, let me introduce you to my son, Anthony." And he came over. We're talking, and we started having a conversation, and we've been talking ever since. So although I didn't win the deal, I did come out with a great friend, a good relationship. And, you never know where a conversation is going to take you. Just follow it all down the rabbit hole. I think I forgot to touch on one thing. You said earlier that you kind of landed on this pay-per-click, funnel for how to find land deals. If you're an investor and trying to do this thing actively yourself, sometimes you just have to follow some things down the rabbit hole to figure out if it's for you or if it's not. And there's no way around that. Like action, you have to take action and you have to try it out and you have to go down this path. It took me a couple of years to realize I didn't want to be a wholesaler. I didn't want to find leads. I didn't want to pass paper. I wanted to be the owner of all this stuff and make a piece of it. However, like I met Anthony, it was a great relationship and we've been chatting ever since. And, there's a number of things that rabbit hole took me down before I realized, oh, this is not for me. So you said that earlier. It's like, hey, this is something you just kept going down. So wherever you're at in your career, like follow a couple of rabbit holes all the way down until it's success or not. But, you can at least say, have done it. I've tried it. I've been in it. I want to move forward. But I commend you all both for taking action, being persistent. I see you popping up in a lot more spots. So keep after it, man. Keep after it, gentlemen.
Okay, well, always a pleasure, man. I think one thing that I love about the Hivemind is it's not the CRM, right? It's the Hivemind is this conversation right here. The Hivemind is the people and the relationships that you build over time and distance, and connecting with people like yourself. It's always a blessing, man. And I really enjoy that part of real estate. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that as much as they probably should. You're a master at it. But it's connecting with good people that are on that same wavelength. People who are headed in the same direction. And those are the people that we move forward with together. So yeah, super blessed to know you, man. Appreciate you for having us on.
All right. Well, my name is Abel Pacheco. I'm your host for the 5Talents podcast. We appreciate you listening in. Go subscribe, rate, and review our show. We would appreciate it. It helps us keep moving on the social algorithms and make sure we have great guests for the future. So thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate it. And Anthony, Daniel, see you later.
Have a good day.
Later, buddy. Thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 5Talents podcast with your host, myself, Abel Pacheco. Each week, we're going to bring you interviews from industry experts and commercial real estate investors who follow their dreams and achieve massive success. Before you leave, let me ask you a few questions. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you learn something valuable? Was your mind stretched to what's possible and what you can achieve? Do you want other experts just like the one you heard today? If you answered yes to any or all of those questions, then please take a moment to subscribe to the 5Talents podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and most importantly, leave us a written review. Tell us what you liked, tell us your favorite guest, give us any feedback. I'm excited to learn and improve so you can get a more valuable show. So thank you again for subscribing to the 5Talents podcast.